Hello everybody. Uh, Today I will be proceeding with my Malirant videos, and today's topic is the guard keyword and Dashel himself. So as you already know, I rate the original Dashel and his title quite high in the overall ratings of the guild masters, and they're both really nice and really competitive, and that's really good. The main benefit being that opponent can't quite tell when you will be taking either, right? So there is a solid possibility you take regional one, or there is a solid possibility you'll take the other one in the same skin pool. So he will be in trouble to decide which one he will going to take, and he'll be in a dilemma to what bring against your master. So is it necessary to bring anti-summon tech? Is it necessary to bring something to prepare for the alpha strike, and so on? So he has quite the benefits going for him, right? So the original one is not bad at killing himself, because he is ways to hit somebody with an axe with a critical strike and moderate of 4 damage. So he can be quite the shooter himself, and he has shouting orders, so he can actually quite easily focus himself, and he can move and shoot twice. And if he had no focus on him, or even if he had, he can make 2 attacks, and one of them will be, or even both, will be focused shots. So that's quite good. So he has quite easy time to hanging out adversary guard, and that's of course beneficial for himself also. So for example, if somebody is in the open and you can just shoot him, make him adversary guard, and then charge and kill him with a bonus, with the positive flips, with a stat 7 attack, and that's quite dangerous by itself. He's not really good with the mobility, but that is compensated by the fact that he has all the horses he can summon. So he can just, for the first turn, he can just walk, focus, summon something, make something concentrated, and then the summoned horse can walk and ride with me him to the needed position. You can't always do that, but anyway, this one in mobility is not really that defining of his playstyle, right? You can walk around it, and he has quite an easy ways to work around it. He's in the middle of the survivability grade, because he has only 10 wounds. And but he has built-in lead line coat, and this is really good. This is really good. But you won't be actually taking another one on himself just for the armor, because you already have armor and you already have Lathoth. So if he will be concentrated on, if he will be focus fired, he's actually not that difficult to bring down, because he has no heart to wound. He has no hard to kill, no defensive or willpower triggers, and actually all he has is the abundance of stones, and that's it. And maybe a guard patrol protecting him sometimes, or once in a blue moon, if you bring a guardian, he can be guarded with that. And as a support goes, he is the ultimate support piece, because he just places the new models on the table, and this is the highest and the most valuable form of support. And not to mention, he has a heal on the bonus section with a focus on top. He's really great at support. And I already mentioned he can hand out adversary guard with his shooting attack. So with the skimming and denying, he is tight with the title, because title has his own ways to remove something. He's very mobile and can remove markers, and Dashel 1 he can also remove markers, and he places the model on top of that. So if you remove an enemy skim mark and place an executioner on top of it, he can actually move and remove another one with his bonus action and do something else. So he's really nice, and all his added mobility with his horses make him pretty nice in that. So he's definitely above the average. And he has almost no control beyond that, though. He can't do anything about enemy models except killing them. This is fine, considering his strengths in the other fields. This is completely fine. And he's quite synergetic with his own crew, because he has shouting orders. That's not really that needed, considering he's almost always in trying to summon a mounted guard and executioner, and they have amazing bonus actions by themselves. But if he summons something else, like a guild sergeant, for example, he can certainly benefit from the shouting orders, and a focused shot, stat 7 focused shot with a critical strike is really nice. And his crew quality is actually not that great. He has two really amazing models, and that will be an executioner and a mountain guard. And he has a really nice mid model, the warden, and that's it. And that's it. And everything else, except maybe the new model, disease containment unit, right? Everything else is pretty bad, actually. Pretty mediocre stats, and nothing else to bring to the table. So just general actions and some attacks. And the only thing he is above average is because of this 3 or 4 models, if you count the new one. And the main thing going for the Shellbucker, that's he's incredibly easy to play. If you have just a bit of practice, if you just read all the cards in the guild, and if you know that he is really in favor of the some of our versatile models, if you use his bonus action right, if you summon right, and if you actually support your crew with something like a guild lawyer, for example, then you're set. He is incredibly easy to play. So, what about the title? The title is actually more like the Basset in playstyle, right? He has great stats in killing, mobility, and survivability, so you can actually face tank. He has self-healing, and he's not that great of a support as a Dashel first, because he's not that great of a summoner, but his support is actually not that bad. He passively provides bonus flips for his own crew. So and the main thing that supports is his aura of universal soulstone accessibility, right? So any guard can survive a lot more with a soulstone, and actually this soulstone blocking is if you block, it's actually blocking the next strike also for the 1 damage with the shielded, right? And this is amazing, and this is actually even better if you use the soulstone offensively, so you can actually declare with your own executioner an execute or a critical strike, or even a double critical strike if you have rams in the hand, and they will be ready to take some hurt afterwards, and this will both provide a defense mechanism, right? And it will actually provide some incentive to not really hit them at all, because it's not that inviting to hit a target that's already shielded, right? So that's not that bad. That's actually he's valued as a 2-point support piece only because all of his support actually is passive, right? and sometimes this is really good. So not actually all of the support is passive. He has draw them in with cut them down and jailer triggers, but you're not really in favor of playing him as only support piece. He'll be a lot more valuable in the thick of things himself. So, well, you certainly have the option, and you can actually play him somewhat safe and supporting from the backlines. But anyway, you have the option, right? So he's the same as the original Dashel in terms of scheming and denying, because he's a lot better on scheming himself, and somewhat less skilled in denying, because he has to be really close to the thing he wants to deny, be it removing of any marker, for example, I don't know, a piece of terrain needed to score graves, for example, or maybe something else, or a research mission, or a scheme marker for a scheme reliant on the scheme markers. So he has to be close. But he has also the option to just be there when you want to score, and he's really fast with all the rushed charges, and he can just break protocol to just walk and be. He's really fast, and he can score. That's all that matters. So you can even score symbols just with the master, because his charges are 7 inches, and if you have a surgeon, that's 8 inches, and just walk and one charge probably can bring you to the symbol, and you can even take it and charge again, and just face tank the opponent and be really annoying, and that's super good, and that's why his control is a lot better than the Dashel one, because he can face tank pretty good. He has the survivability for that. He has annoying abilities for that, like drop them in and second slice and break protocol, so he can disrupt and enemy solitaire relevant on markers or something else. Well, he's really nice in that regard, and he has a lot better crew synergy just because he has a support of those auras of his, and negating of the negative flips for his own crew, and that's why his crew quality is boosted by the wall point, just because of that. He's not that easy to play though, because he requires some difficult decisions to make. So you can actually make a small mistake with the positioning and screw yourself over, and that's a lot harder to do with the Dashel one. So we already talked about their grades, and the only thing I didn't mention is that Dashel 1 has the benefits of additional points from take in any pool bonus and versatiles and out of keyword bonuses, and I'll explain why. So let's get rid of that. So what's the Dashel 1 basic crew looks like? That's why I told he's really easy to play, because his crew is actually really similar in different skin pools. So he needs, of course, a Guild Steward, because that's a centerpiece model that removes slow from your summons and actually provides additional healing in the crew. So 2 models, that's only 6 soulstones, and you have 2 models that can heal and give out focus, and you can remove conditions, and you need that because your beefy summons better off without slow. So and that's the main thing you need to bring with it. And the second thing is you will be pretty sad if you have a Pale Rider in your crew, because he is actually a lot better than his mounted guards, in regard that his ultimate is game breaking in some regard, and he can be kept safe with 2 healing models, right? And he can provide a taxi service for Dashel Buck in the first turns. So he's really good in the crew. Once again, you need those cards to summon. And the Guild Lure will be the perfect model to fetch those Severes from the discard pile, so you can summon those juicy Executioners and those juicy Mounted Guards. Because that's the main models you want to summon from your crew. And you actually don't really need anything else as a base crew. You can add whatever you want next. You can add a beta, so basically you can just, for example, take a Lone Marshal, because he charges, and you can just easily buff the Lone Marshal with 2 focus, and 2 focus shots from the charge is a really long threat range and really high damage. Or you can actually take, if you have choke points, for example, and you have a close deployment, and you know that you need a tank, a centerpiece that can be in one place for a long time. You can even take a peacekeeper, for example, or you can take I don't know, a brutal emissary if you want. So you have a lot of choices. That's why he has a lot going for him in the versatile category and out of keyword category. He loves the models, the most efficient models in the different keywords, and just basically versatile models. He can take, for example, an undercover reporter, and he will actually help him with scheming on symbols, for example. He can actually command Lawyer to take an interact action and draw a card, because they synergize well with that. And you can take even 6 slice shots. Slice 6 shots, because why not? That will be an independent scheme runner, and you can heal him up if he is damaged, and he's not really that easy to kill. So that's a perfectly valid choice. And if you want to play in keyword, you actually can, but that's not that efficient as playing with the most effective pieces. He has a lot of support options for the just basically any models he likes. So you can take a Guild Mage, because if you're playing mainly in keyword, for example, they can shouting orders, discard the cards and heal different models. That's alright. You can take Gatling Gunner for additional card draw and protecting your backline pieces. That's totally fine also. You can take a Disease Containment Unit and buff him up instead of the Lone Marshal, for example, and he can be Tuxeed up the table with a Pale Rider and Summoned Mountain Guard. That's quite alright also. You can even take Target Quick, but I don't really like that choice, because he requires round dance to make his mechanics work, and I don't really like that. I think that combos requiring more than 2 pieces, like 3 pieces in case of Target Quick, is not really that good. They don't usually work. That's the main problem. So basically, if you have for example, a standard deployment. So let's see. Sorry about that. Need to move the table a bit, yeah. So for let's make a standard deployment, for example. Here it is. So you'll be deploying him with his totem, and I forgot to actually bring it, so I'll take a replacement, like a Rifleman will be a totem. So he has an easy time deploying. So it is usually like that, or you can actually divide the crew like that, for example, and do it like that. And place some more models, and he activates when he has cards. He walks. He
concentrates, then he summons something from his totem that can be either here or can be even in his deployment zone not activated yet, and then you can activate his totem or a Guild Steward, remove slow from the guy, buff him up or buff a Pale Rider. Dashel Bucky can buff the Executioner or the Pale Rider, and he can do the summoning for the last action if you want to to just pick up from the discard pile immediately the high card you spent, or you can do it another way around. You have a lot of options, but basically you just move, you concentrate, you summon a model. It can be anywhere you want it to be, and the Pale Rider just often moves, taxes it up, and your Executioner is somewhere here, all ready to go. And you can then actually move your totem somewhere here, so he can start with a bonus action to draw your card and move somewhere up the board, and then charge in anywhere and just wreak havoc, right? But generally you just have a lot of options, so you have a really good mobility for your crew. Not the Dashel himself, but if you want to, you can taxi Dashel up the same way, somewhere here, for example, or anyway. Do anything you like. You have a lot of options, but they're all very easy to do and all very easy to decide what you want. So what's about the title? His thing is a bit different. So you have a Dashel, you have his totem. What do you want to bring with him? So you definitely now have an option to bring a lot of your own keyword models, and that's really good because he has a great synergy with them. So I often think that bringing an Executioner, probably with a light line coat on top, is a good idea. So maybe even a Mounted Guard from the start, and maybe even a Sergeant from the start, because it buffs his initial mobility a lot. And actually probably a disease containment unit also, because he provides a really nice way to move your models from the start, and that helps a lot with the aggressive playstyle he can do. And that's actually the core of the crew, and you can add something up if you want to. That it can be a Guild Lawyer again, just for the shields, or something else, or something you like. Maybe a Guild Mage or a Gatling Gunner. It's not really that that good to bring a Guild Mage, because this crew has a lot less discards than the first one, but it's still a valid choice. And the Gatling Gunner is really nice just for the card draw and for the backline shooting. It's always really nice. So, and his start will be actually something like disease containment unit, uses his bonus action and around the totem, and moves models somewhere like that, including Dashel and the Sergeant, for example, and focuses and walks somewhere here, for example. And then Dashel uses his bonus action on the totem to move freely somewhere here, and then he can charge on the 7 with his rush, and he's already up the board and can charge again and do 2 attacks, or a tactical with a hazardous aura, or I don't know, or a second slice if you can kill some small fry already. And then the Executioner does the same with the totem that moves up. You can do it beforehand, and you can move up or be moved with a Mounted Guard somewhere closer, or you just can use your bonus action on the totem to move up for 6 and then charge for 6, or walk for 6 and charge somewhere here to help Dashel. And that's still a lot of options, and the mount guard can just move up the board and ride with me on the disease containment unit to prepare him for the second turn, and he can be up on the board, and you have engaged executioner and Dashel Bucker up the table, and then you can just pressure the opponent, and that's a really good aggressive play. And actually, you are not required to do that either. You can just be passive for the first turn and just concentrate and summon guard patrol and just take the needed position for the second turn. That's still really easy to do with a crew, and you can actually take some out of keyword models, but you have a lot less ways to support them. So you'll probably need a Guild Steward for that, just for the healing purposes. And actually, that's a really nice way. Another way thing that he has a self-healing on his bonus section. So he's really hard to put down, especially if he has a lead line code. So a combination of lead line code, draw them in with a jailer, hard to wound and armor on top, and the self-healing with the 13 wounds will be a major pain in the ass. Yeah. So if you'll manage to catch at least 2 or even better more models of the opponent before they activate it in his aura, and maybe even in the choke point, that's a huge deal. That's a strong point in winning the game already. So anyway, what's he's doing best? A killing strategy like Turf War is really nice, because Mounted Guard is really good in interacting symbols, and he is really good at removing models on the enemy table half with the help of an executioner or even 2. So he is actually not that bad in symbols, because he is really fast, and a lot faster than the original one. So he is a bit less good at the football. I mean the break the line, and he's pretty good actually at corrupted lane lies, and he has a lot of valid schemes going for him. So of course, all the scheme pools with the reliant on the scheme markers are good for the Dashel Bucker, because he has a lot of ways to remove them now with a DCU or himself. He can probably do a couple of them themselves, but that's actually better if you have a scheme pool with both schemy schemes and not schemy schemes, like Hidden Martyrs or Claim Jump or something like that, because he has a lot of ways to score all of them, and it will be harder to predict. So anyway, I don't think that's a lot of depth in my video, but but that's already close to the half an hour, so I will be closing soon and ending it. And I hope that's at least some thought. And I really hope I'll have at least a bit of a feedback regarding my thoughts on this one. And have a good luck playing the guy. He's really good looking, and in the gaining rounds too. And I think even in the upcoming new one, I don't know what will it be, but he has a lot of options and instruments to be a really effective model and a really effective crew. So I think that will be all for today. Goodbye and see you next time.